Yarrney.
So you got into crochet and learned some stitches, and you've seen a lot of crochet plushie toys or amigurumis, and you're wondering how they're made. Well, two key stitches to learn to do amigurumi are the increase stitch and decrease stitch. What I mean is, let's look at this little whale that I made here. When we look at the top of the whale here, a lot of amigurumi projects starts with the magic ring. And when we do increase stitches, we're essentially adding more stitches in each round, which allows the project to become bigger. So that's how I do a big head. And then the decrease stitch will remove stitches so that your round becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's how I can do a big head with a smaller body. So the increase stitch and the decrease stitch are two really important stitches to do amigurumi projects. Today, I will show you how to do these two stitches. For the purposes of this demonstration, I have already completed a magic ring and I have done 3 rounds, and I have essentially 18 stitches on my last round here. And let's start with the increase. So when we say increase stitches, it's actually very simple. I'm doing single crochet around my magic ring here, and when I do increase, I'm simply doing 2 single crochet inside the same stitch, and that's how I increase my stitch. So what do I mean is, I'm about to do my next stitch here inside this next set of V's here. So this one here, let me insert a stitch marker so you can see this better. So my next stitch will be inside where I have my stitch marker here. And so I will do a single crochet inside the next stitch. And in order to increase, I will do another single crochet inside that same stitch where I have this stitch marker here. So like this, another single crochet. And so I have 2 stitches in 1 stitch, which means I just did an increase. Maybe you will see this a little better if I use 2 stitch markers, one at the start and another one where I insert my hook. So I'm essentially at my next stitch here, which I will insert a little stitch marker. So this stitch marker here on the left is where I will do my next stitch. And this stitch marker on the right here is my last stitch that I just did. So to do an increase, I will insert my hook inside the next stitch, do a single crochet, and then to increase, I will insert my hook inside the same stitch I just did my single crochet and do a second one. So now, as you can see, this stitch marker here marked my last stitch that I did, and then my increase here resulted in 2 stitches. So 1 stitch here and 1 stitch here. This is essentially how you do an increase. If I did increase all around my 18 stitches, I would end up with 36 stitches. Now, before we look at the decrease stitch, if you've liked what you've learned so far, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and activate the bell button to get notified on all our upcoming content. All right, so now decrease. Decrease is also very easy. The decrease means we're turning 2 stitches into 1 stitch. And so let me just put my stitch marker in the last stitch I did. In order to decrease, I will first insert my hook inside the next stitch, just as I would usually when I do a single crochet. And then I will pull my yarn through the hole I just went through. And you see I have 2 loops on my hook, right? If I was going to do a single crochet, normally I would just pull my yarn through the 2 loops. But in a decrease, we're not going to do that. We're going to insert our hook inside the next stitch. And then we're going to yarn over and pull the yarn through the little hole we just went through. And you see we have 3 loops on our hook now. What we're going to do is yarn over and pull the yarn through all 3 loops. So now I have just done a decrease. Let me demonstrate this one more time. The next 2 stitches that you see are this one here and this one here. When we decrease, we just want to merge these 2 stitches together. And so I will just put my stitch marker here so you can see that this stitch marker here, I do not want to work on this stitch. It's the 2 previous stitch here that I want to merge together to decrease and form into 1 stitch. And I will move this stitch marker to the last stitch I just did. Now I will decrease this stitch here and this stitch here. So I will insert my hook inside the next stitch, pull the yarn over, and now immediately insert my hook inside the second stitch, so the stitch I want to merge with the first one, pull the yarn through the hole I just went through. Now I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull the yarn through all 3 loops. So now I'm basically ready to do my next stitch, but as you can see, this stitch marker here marked my last stitch that I did, and this stitch marker here marked my next stitch, and between the 2, I now only have 1 stitch, which is this one that I've just decreased. And this is essentially how you do an increase stitch and a decrease stitch. I hope this was really helpful for you, and I hope you're now ready to do a lot more amigurumi projects. I guarantee you that you will see this in almost all the projects. So again, if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and activate the bell button. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.